What is up, guys? Jake from OneHive here with the Week 8 stock report slash power ranking slash recap of the weekend. All of that good stuff rolled into one nice little ball for your viewing pleasure. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. The first matchup we're going to cover, Dark Looters versus Power COC, and Dark Looters picking up the win 115 to 112. So a pretty good performance from Power CLC, but not enough to get it done. That moves Dark Looters to 6-2. Obviously, still a bye. They've had a couple of tough losses, but for the most part, been dominant all season long. Still putting up that near 115 every week, which is crazy. So those guys are still a powerhouse. Obviously, a bye in my category. Looking at Power COC, they moved to 3-5, and you got to say it's a sell at this point. They just cannot put a string of wins together. They can't win these big wars, so I'm selling them off. I'm not going to hold on to that stock. Next, looking at Clantanamo Bay versus Elite Gaming, and Clantanamo Bay gets the win 111-109, moving to 5-3 on the season, so a good record. Don't get it wrong, they have a good record. But I'm not going to buy them. I mean, these guys, it's like every time I pick them, they lose. Every time I pick against them, they win. So I just can't mess with them. Like they're messing with my mind. I'm leaving that at a hold. Who knows what's going to happen from Clantanamo Bay? Who knows which Clantanamo Bay is going to show up week to week? Right now, they are a hold rating for me. On the other hand, Elite Gaming, another clan moving to 3-5 with that loss. You got to sell them off. I'm proud of Elite Gaming. I think they came into this season with not a whole lot of expectations as far as competing for a win in the grand scheme of things, but just to get their feet wet, to get this experience, and to improve and gain traction for Season 3. I think they've done exactly that. Hopefully, can put a few more wins in their column, moving on. But pretty much for the season, I feel like they're a sell, not someone I'm looking to pick up. Next, we got Suomi Cotcat versus The Lost, and oh my goodness, this was a barn burner. I watched the end of this one on stream. It was crazy close, 113 to 113. The Lost winning on the tiebreaker. So Suomi Cotcat, I picked them to win this one, even though I knew it would be a competitive war. If you guys watched the picks video, the first time I'd never actually circled a clan, didn't make my pick before I started recording, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to pick. I knew it was going to be close. So I'm going to leave them at a hold. They moved to 5-3. That's a good record right now. A lot of clans at 5-3 or better are pretty much going to make the playoffs. I mean, that's all there is to it. They're going to make it. So we'll see what they can do in the postseason. So I'm just leaving them at a hold there, even with the Lost. So the Lost, on the other hand, still a buy for me. They're 4-2. They still have some makeup matches to do. But I feel like they're just finding a way to win. They're just one of those clans that when it comes down to it, they get the attacks in, they find a way to win. If they can keep that up, they're definitely going to make some noise in the postseason as well. Let's see, we're looking at Fake Orgasm versus Cold September, and wow, Fake Orgasm gets the win by 1 star over Cold September. So really, really close war here. I'm kind of surprised. I'm honestly kind of surprised there. Cold September obviously had their struggles. Fake Orgasm moving to 6-2 on that. I'm gonna leave them at a bye, but I've got my eye on them. That's a win that I thought they would win by more than 1 star for sure. So we'll see about them, but they're still a buy rating right now. I mean, 6-2, that's super strong. Cold September moving to 1-7. Still, the struggles continue, but that is an improved performance, and I'm seeing improvement from Cold September week over week, which makes me happy. I really want to see them put some wins together, but until they do, they're still a sell for me. PWC versus Emphatic Elite. The war has not happened. They had to postpone it. From what I heard, and this is not confirmed, this is just rumors, that PWC had some roster issues, really couldn't make it, and Emphatic Elite agreed to put it off, I think, till next week, or not this coming weekend, the weekend after the bye weekend. So we'll see about that. We'll have to come back and check it. But, as far as the movement on them, I'm going to leave them both. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to leave them, call it a hold, call it whatever you want. How are you going to react to a non-war? So we'll leave it there. 6 slits. Actually, let me go back and tell you. Well, that's fine. We'll talk about that later. I don't want to spend too much time on a war that didn't happen in those clans. Well, we'll see how they react next weekend. We'll sort of do a double take on those. 6 Schlitzes versus Annihilate. 6S getting the win, 114-112, and moving to 5-3 on the season. I think that's a buy for them. I think 6S is still a super strong clan. They have sort of fallen, in my mind, to the bottom of that upper tier, and we'll talk more about that in the rankings. But still a strong clan, but not maybe as strong as they once were. I don't know. Annihilate, 2-6 on the season. they're not a super strong clan by any means, and they gave 6S all they wanted. So I don't know if that's a tip of the hat to Annihilate, or if it's sort of like what's going on with 6 Slitches there. But anyways, they're a buy for me. Looking at Annihilate again, 2 and 6, you got to sell them off at this point. If you've only managed to get a couple wins, you're definitely in the bottom of the league, and they're just a sell rating. Not much more to say about that. Hopefully they can turn it around. Then we got OneHive versus Kancha, and OneHive thumping Kancha 112 to 105. One of the most lopsided wins in the league this weekend. So definitely a buy for OneHive, moving to 7-1 on the season, doing really, really well, and coming up on a big war next weekend against WHF. And of course, we'll be talking about that in the forecast video quite a bit. Kancha, on the other hand, dropping to 3-5. I think you got to sell them. You know, just not. It seemed like at one point in the season that Kancha could have been a contender, could have been good, but it's like they just, I don't know. There's no consistency. There's no. I mean, that was a very weak performance from them. So definitely a sell for those guys. Mariana Trench versus Midwinters, and Mariana Trench getting the win, 114 to 107. So another huge victory there. And what is going on? I mean, Mariana Trench moving to 3-5. But what is going on? It's like when they win, they score 114, 116 stars or something. It's crazy. So I don't know what to think about these guys. I'm going to leave them out of hold. Another one of those clans that every time I pick them, they burn me, and every time I pick against them, they win. So I don't know what to do with them. Just going to leave it at a hold for now. But on the other hand of that, Midwinters getting the loss, dropping to 2 and 6. Wow, no question. You got to sell them off again. Clans that have only got a couple wins at this point, just no chance for the playoffs. Not going to happen for them this season. Hopefully they can get a few wins under their belt and do better next season though. Moving on, Warwells versus Immoral Thieves, and this one is insane. I know there's all kinds of rumors and talk swirling around this war. I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know the details. I know that there's nothing official from the CWL admins just yet. So all I'm going to say is what's in front of me, and what's in front of me is a huge win for Warwells, moving to 8-0. You've got to give them a buy rating. They're just dominant right now. We'll see how everything pans out for them, but for now, definitely a strong buy. Immoral Thieves, on the other hand, getting that loss, dropping to 6-2. I'm going to leave them at a hold. I'm definitely not in the mood to sell any Immoral Thieves stock. Those guys are beasts. They're good. They had a poor performance. I think any of them would tell you that. Even going up against something like 117 stars, which is pretty much unreachable. 109, that's not what they expect. It's definitely not. But I'm not going to sell them. I'm going to put them at a hold rating because I think they're going to be super strong all the way through the playoffs. So we'll see what they can do. North Remembers versus Buy Forever, and North Remembers taking the loss, 113 to 116, dropping to 0-8. Man, another clan, sort of like Cold September, they've had obvious, massive struggles this season, but I see improvement. 113 stars, guys. That's nothing to slouch at against Buy Forever, who is a pretty good clan. So I'm gonna, they're a sell. Don't get me wrong. I can't pick up a clan that hasn't been able to pick up a win this season, but I am seeing improvement from North Remembers, and I like it. Buy Forever, on the other hand, moving to 4-4 on the season. Big star war for them. There was some crazy stuff. There was, I know, a Town Hall 9 v11 2-star. There was a Town Hall 9 v10 3-star from those guys. So doing some good things. And granted, it was against arguably, or not even arguably, the weakest clan in the league right now, but still impressive stuff. So I'm going to leave them at a hold. 4-4. They're batting 500. How can I buy them? How can I sell them? I'm leaving them at a hold. Let's see how they do next weekend. I am in the mood to give them a look if they continue this streak that they're on and pick them up. But for now, they're a hold rating for me. Spartan's Legacy versus 2.0. Wow, I missed this one. I thought 2.0 would get the win here, and they did give it a good war. The win for Spartan's Legacy, 114 to 112 for 2.0, moving Spartan's Legacy to 5-3. And has Spartan's Legacy recovered here? That's the question. They started off super strong. They went completely in the tank where they couldn't buy a win, and now they've strung a couple wins together, moving to 5-3. I think they're back to the buy rating. I really do. I'm seeing good things from them. 114 stars, that's legit. Nice job. Keep it up, Spartan's Legacy. On the other hand, 2.0 moving to 1-7. Even though it's a good performance, I've got to leave them in the sell category. You got to pick up wins. You got to get these wins like that. I thought they could get it done this week. They didn't. But hey, again, probably the season's pretty much spent for them as far as anything, hopes for playoff or anything like that. But let's see what they do. Let's see how they can finish strong, come into next season and look even better. Killer Bunnies versus Bada Bing Clan. Another one that I missed here, just not sure where this came from. I really thought there was no chance for Killer Bunnies to take this loss, 111 to 113. Just getting it done, Bada Bing Clan. But Killer Bunnies moving to 3 and 5, and I'm going to sell them. I mean, that's a surprising loss for Killer Bunnies to me. So something's going on over there. Something's not firing on all cylinders. So I'm getting rid of my stock on them. But Bada Bing Clan getting that impressive win, moving up to 3 and 5 on the season. I'm gonna leave them at a hold. I mean, could it be a fluke? Who knows? Not one that I expected them to win. But if they string a few more wins together, I'll be in the buying mood for sure. Moving on, we got the Swarm versus North Watchers, and Swarm getting an easy win, 114-110 over North Watchers, moving to 8-0, the only other undefeated clan in the season. So obviously a super strong buy recommendation for them. North Watchers dropping to 2 and 6, an obvious sell. Not a whole lot to say. They've had their struggles for sure, so selling those guys off. War and Glory versus Reddit Alchemy. Obviously, a war that does not happen because Reddit Alchemy is out of the league. So War and Glory picks up the win, moving to 5 and 3, an impressive record. So for that reason, they are a buy, even though they did not have to war this week. Still impressive stuff from those guys. Reddit Omega versus Tactical Inc. and Reddit Omega getting the win, 111-108, moving them to 5 and 3 on the season. And man, is Reddit Omega back? This is kind of like a Spartans legacy story. I thought they were going to be super strong. They looked at first week against us, they looked like world beaters, and then it sort of faded off. But now it's like they're stringing these wins back together, getting that record back up there to 5 and 3. I think they're a buy. I think they're looking strong right now. Hopefully for a good postseason push. And Tactical Inc. dropping to 2 and 6. A sell rating, that's the deal. 2 and 6. I cannot abide it. I cannot have it. I've got to get rid of it. So sorry, Tactical Inc. And then the last one, Dark Looters Z versus WHF, and OMG, what a war. I mean, it was crazy. 108-108, WHF picking up the tiebreaker win. Unbelievable. So Dark Looters Z dropping to 6 and 2, and I gotta sell them here. Not that they're not a super strong clan. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying about the buy-sell ratings. It's just that right now, they're not hot. They're not moving up. They're actually moving backwards. And so I have to put them in that sell category. I still think they're strong. Obviously, a clan that's going to the postseason. Obviously, a clan to watch out for in the postseason. But for me, right now, I buy. Or excuse me, I sell. On the flip side of that, WHF moving up to 6 and 2. And getting the big win there, definite buy rating. WHF has really surprised me. I thought that at the start of the season, they just weren't going to have what the kind of season they wanted. But was I ever wrong? They have managed to string wins together just back to back to back to back and move that record up. So definite buy rating there, and looking forward to the war against them this coming weekend. So there you go, guys. What does it all mean? Where do I have the rankings at? Well, let's jump into it right about now. Here we go, 32 through 21, guys. Who's in the bottom third of the league? Bringing up the rear, obviously, not much to talk about. Reddit Alchemy, who has dropped out of the season. They're holding no movement for those guys. Then we got North Remembers, 0 and 8. Again, no movement until they pick up a win. I don't know how anybody could rank them any higher than that, but still holding down that 31 spot. At 30, dropping one spot is OneHive 2.0. And now, while them and Cold September at 29 both had losses, I sort of switched them spots here because of the way that Cold September played Effect Orgasm. Played them very tough. It was impressive enough to me to bump them over 2.0 into that 29 spot. 28, we got Tactical Inc. dropping a couple spots. Only scored 108 stars versus Reddit Omega. That's not very impressive. That's why they lose a few spots there, coming in at 28. 27, North Watchers. They did decent against the Swarm. But, they're just going to they're staying put. No movement from them this season. 27, this week, staying put at 27th. 26, we have got Midwinters, dropping 3 spots. I did not, I thought they were dropping to 2 and 6, man. I mean, how can you rate them much higher than that? It's just a really rough record for the season. So they're dropping 3 spots down there. At 25, we've got Annihilate, dropping 1 spot. They had a good show against Six Slitzes, but just, the way it broke out, other clans that were in their same category getting some wins when they got the loss, it just moved them down a spot. Wasn't a bad performance, though. And then at 24, we got Kancha, dropping 3 spots, had a tough loss to OneHive. Just, it wasn't a good performance. It wasn't that they lost to OneHive. I think OneHive's a very strong clan. I think they were expected to lose that war, but the performance just, it cost them a few spots in my rankings anyways. Then up 1 spot at 23, Killer Bunnies, dropping 5 spots after their loss. So not a good week for the Bunnies over there. We'll see how they react to that next weekend. Let's see, moving up another 122, we've got Power COC dropping a couple spots, and then right above them, rounding out the bottom third of the league, Elite Gaming. Tough loss to the loss. I mean, it was close, but how can I rank them much higher than this? They just haven't got the wins, and they took a loss there. So it was a good performance, but dropping 5 spots down to the bottom third. I'm sure they're going to want to get a win and get back up into that middle of the pack coming in next weekend. So there you go, guys. Your bottom third of the league. Jumping into the top 20, starting us off is Bada Bing Clan. Moving 8 spots with that big win over Killer Bunnies. Very impressive. Again, one that I just never would have thought. So those guys would get a pretty big bounce up into that top 20. At 19, playing with COC, PWC, dropping 4 spots, man. They're having some trouble. I mean, obviously, they didn't have their war, so they're still 3 and 4. But they're the reason the war didn't happen, so that's not a good sign. I know real life happens. I know things are going on, but clearly something going on over there. They couldn't even put a roster out and go up against Emphatic Elite this week. We'll see how they do, though. They could get the win. They could change my mind, but I got to put the rankings out as I see it, and right now they're at number 19. At 18, Mariana Trench moving up 7 spots with that nice win. They're managing to string a couple wins together and do it in style. Putting up some big numbers on the stars. So that's why they got them 7 spots up to that number 18. And right above them, Emphatic Elite. Again, not having the war this week. So they are moving 5 spots, but it's just a matter of they haven't won, and I'm sort of leaning towards them probably winning that war. And so it's like, just the other clans taking losses. It's just the movement of the league. It's just the way it happened. Nothing that they did special. It's just other clans that were ahead of them suffered a loss, so they move up. Right above them at 16, Bye Forever, moving up 1 spot with a win over North Remembers. Still to be determined how much a win over North Remembers means right now, because everyone that has faced them has gotten a win. So we'll see. Again, I think North Remembers is improving, but 1 spot, Bye Forever, not moving much on that win. Right above them, Guantanamo Bay at number 15, dropping 1 spot, even though they did get the win. It's just like, man, which Guantanamo Bay shows up? You never know. You never know. So the inconsistency and just the fluid movement of the league cost them to drop down to number 15, but still in the top 15. So definitely a good middle of the pack clan. Above them with a big move in my mind, Spartan's Legacy. They're climbing back up. They had a big drop, but moving 5 spots, they're able to string a couple wins together in a row, and that is big for Spartan's Legacy because they were on a skid that they couldn't find the brakes on. Seems like they have. Seems like they're getting things back together. The talent was there. It was just disarray was causing them some losses. I think you're going to see them finish strong and probably even make the postseason. So we'll see. Above them, though, I've got Reddit Omega. Moving to 5 and 3, not moving. They were 13 last week. They're 13 again this week, but they're looking like that strong Reddit Omega that I expected at the start of the season. They're getting these wins. They're making it happen, and they're not just very, very close wins. They're solid, decisive wins. So good stuff from those guys. Getting close to that top 10, number 12, 6 Schlitz is dropping a few spots. I mean, they got the win. It's just sort of it was unimpressive. I guess against Annihilate, who is a very lower tier clan right now as far as record and how they've been performing. So I just, again, it's just the movement. It's not always just directly related to what that clan did, but what clans that are near them did. So because of that, dropping a few spots down to number 12. And then right above them, just missing the top 10, Suomi Kotkat took the tough loss to the loss. I mean, it was a tie. It was a hard-fought war, but that loss does drop them 2 spots in my mind, puts them in right outside the top 10 at number 11. All right, guys, here it comes. It is top 10 time. Congratulations to all the clans that made my top 10 this week. And right there, sneaking their way in is War and Glory, getting the bye win, but still a 5 and 3 record, and they're looking good. I feel like a lot of things are moving in the right directions for War and Glory, so they're up a couple spots just in making that top 10. Above them is the Lost, moving up 2 spots. They're moving to 4 and 2. Again, they have some backup wars to do, but they're looking good, and they always find a way to get the win, it seems like, which I like. I like that about the clan. I think they are going to make some noise in this league and be here for a while. Above them, Faked Wargasm, 6 and 2. They did get the win, but they're dropping a spot because they barely beat Cold September. Cold September gave them all they wanted. So that makes me wonder what is going on at Faked Wargasm. Is their base design not where it needs to be? I'm just not sure. So they dropped 1 spot, but still solidly in the top 10 there. Then above them, Dark Looters Z dropping 3 spots. They got the loss to WHF, and that one is just like, whoa, I did not expect it. WHF stepped up big, and it really sets up a nice war this coming weekend against OneHive and WHF. I mean, the only clan to put a loss in OneHive's column, getting beat by WHF, them moving up to 6-2. Dark Looter Z dropping down to 6-2, dropping 3 spots on my rankings, and then WHF getting that win, moving up 2 spots, getting almost in that top 5, 6-2. Obviously, a win over OneHive next weekend puts them in my top 5. There's no question about it. So I know they are going to be pumped up for it. OneHive's pumped up for it. And it's going to be an epic war, no question. All right, guys, it is top 5 time now, and rounding out the bottom of the top 5, OneHive moving up 1 spot, getting back in the top 5. I did drop them out 1 week, but with Dark Looter Z taking that second loss, I couldn't justify leaving them up there. And with a record like 7-1, I'm not sure how anybody could deny them that spot at this point. I'm sure there's people in the comments that will tell me they do not belong there, but we absolutely smashed Cancha, looked very strong, and I think with that kind of record, it's justified. So that's where I've got them. At number 4, Dark Looters. I still have them there. They're moving to 6-2. They're moving up 1 spot to number 4. They're just that impressive. I mean, look at their stats. Look at their hits. Look at their stars. Look at their 3 stars. It's impressive. I still think they're super strong, even with a couple tough losses. I've got them at number 4. And then at number 3, Immoral Thieves. Now, I didn't move Immoral Thieves even after taking that pretty bad loss to Warwells, because, again, there's a lot of questions swirling around that. I'm not going to speculate on it. I just look at what's in front of me. And still what's in front of me, I'm looking at a 6-2 clan that is super strong. You know, there's no question about it. That's why I've got them here. I think that's where they belong. We'll see how it goes. You know, we'll see how the rest of their season goes. But for now, for me, they're number 3. Obviously, above them, the Swarm 8-0. Cannot deny them. I mean, they're super, super, super strong. The only other undefeated clan besides Warwells, and then Warwells not moving. So the top 3 did not change for me this week, even though the number 1 and number 3 went at it. It wasn't enough to convince me to move those things around. I think they're set where they're at right now. All right, guys, let me know where I screwed up. Let me know how mad you are at me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, Jake from OneHive, doing my best to help you guys suck less.